Okay, welcome to Jay's Retro Toys and Games. It's episode number 78 on this Tuesday, October 21st, 2025. And tonight, we got a real treat for you. As if all of our episodes have been real treats. Yes, they have. Because, as they say, in the late 1970s, a revolution was brewing in living rooms across the world. Video games once confined to arcades and novelty shops were making their way into homes, forever changing the way people played and interacted. Among the pioneers of this new era stood the Magnavox Odyssey2, a console that dared to be different, blending innovation, education, and entertainment. This is the story of the Odyssey2, its origins, its triumphs, its challenges, and its enduring legacy tonight on Jay's Retro Toys and Games. And welcome to another edition of Jay's Retro Toys and Games. I'm Jason Iganio, your host and moderator, ready to take you into another of the console wars of the 70s and the 80s, and possibly all the way up to today's consoles. But remember, in order to be a retro console, it has to be at least 20 years old. And there are some that are retro that you wouldn't think they even came close to being retro. But they are. And we'll look at those later on down the line. We're in Season 4 of our series on Retro Toys and Games. We thank you for your continued support, and we hope that you're enjoying all of these particular histories and a trip down memory lane, as they say. Tonight, we're looking at the Magnavox Odyssey 2. And to truly appreciate the Odyssey 2, it's important to understand the world it was born into. The story begins in the early 1970s when Magnavox, an American electronics company, released the original Odyssey, developed by Ralph Baer, often called the father of video games. The Odyssey was the world's first commercial home video game console. It was a marvel of its time, using simple circuitry and plastic screen overlays to create interactive experiences on television sets. The Odyssey's release in '72 marked the dawn of home gaming. And while its graphics were primitive and its gameplay basic, it captured the imagination of families across America. The Odyssey sold over 350,000 units, a respectable number for a brand new concept. However, it wasn't long before competitors took notice. Atari, founded by Nolan Bushnell, released Pong, first as an arcade game and then as a home console. Pong's runaway success ignited a new industry, and soon companies like Coleco, Fairchild, and Mattel joined the fray. Magnavox, eager to maintain its pioneering status, began to envision a successor to the original Odyssey. The goal was ambitious: create a console that was not only fun, but also educational, a system that could grow with its users and offer more than just simple games. This vision would eventually lead to the development of the Odyssey 2. The development of the Odyssey 2 began in the mid-1970s as Magnavox became a subsidiary of the Dutch electronics giant Philips. The collaboration brought together American ingenuity and European engineering, resulting in a console that would be marketed as the Odyssey 2 in North America and the Philips Videopac G7000 in Europe. The design team faced several challenges. The video game market was evolving rapidly, and consumers were demanding more sophisticated graphics, sound, and gameplay. Magnavox wanted to create a system that was both powerful and accessible, appealing to families and children while also offering something new. One of the most distinctive features of the Odyssey 2 was its built-in keyboard. At a time when most consoles relied solely on joysticks and switches, the Odyssey 2's full QWERTY keyboard was a bold innovation. It hinted at a future where video games and computers would merge, allowing users to play games, type messages, and even learn basic programming. The hardware itself was sleek and modern, with a silver and black color scheme and two hardwired joysticks. The cartridges were compact and easy to insert, making it simple for players to switch between games. And the Odyssey 2 also featured a unique expansion port, which would later be used for the add-ons like the Voice, a speech synthesis module that brought digitized speech and sound effects to select games. The development process was not without its hurdles. The team had to balance cost, performance, and ease of use, all while keeping an eye on the rapidly changing market. But by 1978, the Odyssey 2 was ready for launch, a console that promised to bring the future of gaming into the home. The Magnavox Odyssey 2 made its debut in North America in 1978, arriving at a time when the home console market was heating up. Its launch was accompanied by a wave of advertising, positioning the Odyssey 2 as a family-friendly system that offered both fun and learning. The console's design set it apart from its competitors. The built-in keyboard was front and center, inviting users to interact in new ways. The joysticks, though simple by today's standards, were responsive and comfortable, with a single action button on the top. The system's cartridges were brightly colored and clearly labeled, making it easy for players to find their favorite games. One of the Odyssey 2's most innovative features was the Voice, an add-on module that plugged into the console's expansion port. With the Voice, select games could deliver digitized speech and enhanced sound effects, a novelty that wowed players and set the Odyssey 2 apart from other systems of the era. Games like Type and Tell allowed users to type words and hear them spoken aloud, while action titles like KC's Crazy Chase featured taunting villains and dramatic sound cues. The Odyssey 2's library was diverse, offering everything from fast-paced arcade games to educational titles and even early attempts at role-playing and strategy games. The system's packaging and marketing emphasized its dual role as both a game console and a learning tool, appealing to parents who wanted their children to have fun while developing important skills. And despite its many strengths, the Odyssey 2 faced challenges from the start. The market was crowded, and competitors like the Atari 2600 had already established strong footholds. Still, the Odyssey 2's unique features and accessible design helped it carve out a niche among families and educators. The heart of any game console is its library, and the Odyssey 2 offered a wide range of titles that showcased its capabilities. Over its lifespan, more than 50 games were released in North America, with even more available in Europe under the Videopac brand. Perhaps the most famous Odyssey 2 game was KC Munchkin, a maze chase game that drew immediate comparisons to Pac-Man. In KC Munchkin, players guided a hungry creature through twisting mazes, gobbling up dots while avoiding relentless enemies. The game's clever design and addictive gameplay made it a hit, but it also attracted the attention of Atari, who sued Magnavox for copyright infringement. The lawsuit forced Magnavox to pull KC Munchkin from shelves, but not before it had become a cult classic. Other standout titles included Pickaxe Pete, a frantic platformer where players dodged boulders and collected treasures, and UFO, a fast-paced shooter that tested players' reflexes. The Odyssey 2 also offered unique hybrid games like Quest for the Rings, which combined a physical board game with video game elements, encouraging family members to work together and strategize. Educational games were a major focus for the Odyssey 2. Titles like Mathemagic and Computer Intro used a keyboard to teach math, spelling, and basic programming concepts. These games reflected Magnavox's belief that video games could be both entertaining and enriching, helping children develop important skills while having fun. The Odyssey 2's game library was largely developed in-house, as Magnavox struggled to attract third-party developers. This limited the variety of games compared to systems like the Atari 2600, but it also gave the Odyssey 2 a distinctive identity. Its games were often quirky, imaginative, and ahead of their time, earning the system a devoted following among collectors and retro gaming enthusiasts. The late 70s and early 1980s were a golden age for home video game consoles, but they were all so fiercely competitive. The Atari 2600 dominated the market thanks to its large library of games and strong third-party support. Mattel's Intellivision boasted superior graphics and sound, while ColecoVision promised arcade-quality experiences. Against this backdrop, the Odyssey 2 faced an uphill battle. Its innovative features and educational focus set it apart, but it struggled to match the sheer volume and variety of games available on rival systems. Magnavox's decision to keep most game development in-house limited the system's appeal to hardcore gamers, who craved the latest arcade hits and popular franchises. Despite these challenges, the Odyssey 2 found success in certain markets. In Europe, where it was sold as the Philips Videopac, the system enjoyed strong sales and a loyal fan base. Philips invested heavily in marketing and localization, releasing dozens of exclusive titles and supporting the system well into the 1980s. In North America, the Odyssey 2 carved out a niche among families and educators who appreciated its accessible design and educational software. The system's affordability and durability made it a popular choice for parents, while its unique games and features attracted a devoted community of fans. Ultimately, the Odyssey 2 was overshadowed by its competitors, but it felt and left a lasting impression on those who played it. Its blend of innovation, education, and entertainment set it apart from the crowd, and its influence can still be seen in modern consoles and educational software. The Magnavox Odyssey 2 was discontinued in the early 1980s, as the video game industry faced a period of upheaval and change. Yet, its legacy endures. The Odyssey 2 introduced features that would become standard in later consoles, such as the keyboard and speech synthesis. Its focus on education and creativity foreshadowed the rise of home computers and they call it computers and entertainment software, edutainment software. Today, the Odyssey 2 is a prized collector's item, celebrated for its quirky charm and pioneering spirit. Emulators and fan communities keep its games alive, ensuring that new generations can experience the magic of this unique system. The Odyssey 2's influence can be seen in everything from modern educational games to the integration of keyboards and voice technology in today's consoles. Retro gaming conventions and online forums are filled with stories from players who grew up with the Odyssey 2, sharing memories of late-night gaming sessions, family competitions, and the thrill of discovering new worlds. The system's distinctive design and imaginative games have earned it a special place in the hearts of collectors and historians alike. The Magnavox Odyssey 2 may not have won the console wars, but it carved out a unique place in gaming history. It dared to be different, blending fun and learning in a way few consoles have since. Its story is a testament to the creativity and passion that drive the world of video games forward. And as we look back on the early days of home gaming, the Odyssey 2 reminds us that the innovation often comes from those willing to take risks. Its legacy lives on in the games we play, the consoles we cherish, and the memories we share. And there you have it, friends. A look at the history of the Magnavox Odyssey 2 on this 78th episode of Jay's Retro Toys and Games. Thank you for joining me here tonight, and we hope to see you again for another edition and a look at some more consoles in our Console Wars series, and look at our back episodes from our previous seasons to start all the way from the beginning with the very first episode of Jay's Retro Toys and Games, which was Scrabble. We'll see you on Thursday for another Console Wars, or maybe a toy. But whatever the case, episode 79 will be better than this episode, as always. And remember to be honest, be real, and keep it simple, stupid. Kiss. Have a good night. Bye for now.